Sawadee-ka. Good afternoon, everyone. We are very glad this afternoon for having Mr. Daryl Pamisaran from Romblon, but presently residing in Mindanao. They are here in Thailand for a mission, and we would like to take this opportunity to get some information about their work in the villages over there. Mr. Daryl, I have a few questions with you this afternoon. We have been hearing the word Sulads, but we actually don't know what Sulads mean. Can you enlighten us about that Sulads?
Sulads is a Manobo word which means brother. We have a group of ethnic jungle tribes in Mindanao we call Manobo. These Manobos have this word Sulad, which means brother or sister. You are my Sulad. And we made an acronym to that. Sulads, S.U.L.A.D.S. Socio-economic, Uplift, literacy, Anthropological, and Developmental services. This now becomes an institution of reaching the jungle tribes of Mindanao through non-formal education. This is working hand in hand with the Department of Education of the Republic of the Philippines in educating our far-flung people out there in the woods. That's our program, Sulads.
Okay. So, where is the main office of the Sulads?
The main office of Sulads is in the campus of Mountain View College, Valencia City, Bukidnon, Philippines.
And how did these Sulads come about?
It was just a dream of the former professor of theology, the late Jean Zachary, who was then the professor and dean of the School of Theology at Mountain View College.
What year was that?
It was in 1969 and 70. He started this MS, Ministerial Seminar Program, preparing the theology students for the ministerial work. And they go out every Sabbath to go to areas where there is no church yet. And they start to gather people, start Sabbath school. We call this now branch Sabbath school. But they noticed that there are some ethnic tribes who come from the mountains, but seemingly unpenetrable to the woods. And they made a program to reach them.
Okay, so that started in the year 1969 to 1970. Okay, so that is like 43 years now. Now, we have been hearing these Sulads missionaries. In fact, there were, I heard this twice in a sermon in a church where they have shared their work in the mountains. And it seems really, really interesting, but very tough and uncomfortable and very challenging, I should say. Now, if we compare the challenges long time ago or during the early years compared to the present, does it make a big difference now?
In the pioneering days, we have this big barrier of language, much more the culture. Because their culture is so far different from us. We think that what we are doing is right, is good, for the good of the people. But actually that is so opposite to the practice and culture they have.
Can you cite an example?
Like for example, sanitation. We always tell our Sulads volunteers to dig a latrine or outhouse, we call toilet, to make it very simple, so that the people can see in the practice of the Sulads teachers how to dispose waste properly. Because to them, their toilet or their bathroom is so big, so wide, and they just drop their poop just anywhere. That is very unsanitary. And so, we asked our Sulads teachers to be an example, to be looked upon as models. But it is so contrary to their practice, to their culture, that one day, in a certain village, we hiked for some 13 long hours to that village. This Sulad teacher was digging a pit in preparation for the toilet, As he was digging, the chief came to him and said, "What are you doing, teacher?" "I am digging a hole." "For what?" "For a latrine." "What is the latrine for?" "This is the place where we will put our waste every morning whenever the call comes to really release our waste." He said, "That is too big a hole now for a waste. Better stop it." "No, I will dig a hole so big enough for a long use." And the chief said, "If you won't stop there, if you won't stop that now, I will bury you there." So the teacher said, "Why?" "Because if you won't stop digging now, when somebody in the village gets sick and dies, it is all because of you. By digging," culture says, "you are calling for a spell of epidemic or what. And whenever anybody dies, it is all because of you. And so you stop." And so what do the teachers do, the Sulads teachers do? To the Jews, according to 1 Corinthians 9:19 and 20, to the Jews we become as Jews, all for the gospels. To the Manobos, we adopted culture. We live as Manobos. And so we live like them. In the morning, whenever we feel the urge to release our waste, we bring our machete, the bolo, winnower, and a piece of wood. What for? The bolo to dig, the winnower to cover, and the piece of wood to strike the pigs that come every morning to disturb you. You see that? Interesting, isn't it?
Interesting.
But this is the way, because when you join Sulad's program as a missionary, you really need to forget who you are, to live the luxuries of life, to walk on the path of righteousness of Jesus. But when Jesus walked this way, living the luxuries of the convenience of heaven, he walked the way of men, living his divinity. But he was divine still, but living the comforts of life, to live the bitterest of life's bitter with the people he is serving. This is Sulad's missionary. So it's not really a joke to be a missionary.
Mm-hmm. So you were saying that one of the biggest challenge that you have faced is all about culture.
Yes.
You have to go there and learn first the culture.
Yes.
Now, how will you be able to communicate to those people if you do not speak the same language?
To be immersed into them, first you have the heart of love, which is placed there by Jesus in you. And asking the Lord to bless you with the talent of tongue, so we can communicate with the people. The first approach is to teach them how to read and write. And so, using illustrations, getting a flower, getting a leaf, a stone, or whatever you can find around, you teach English to them. This is a stone. What is this in your language? So, they tell you what. Then, as you teach, they teach you.
So you learn.
You learn their language. I was able to speak their language in 3 months. In 3 months, I was preaching straight in their language. that is immersion. So you have to forget your way of life back in your own comfortable home and to live with them in their way of life, just to learn how to speak their language and to learn to adapt their culture.
To be a Sulads missionary, sir, we know that it's not easy with all those challenges of communication, breaking your comfort zone, meeting those people who are really uncivilized. And earlier, before we came here, you have shared to us about security. Yeah, when you went there, you know that the Manobos are headhunters and all that. How did you feel before you went there?
We really know that these people kill people. When you meet them on the way, on the trail, they would readily pull their machetes out from the sheets and would ask, who goes there? Who talk? Who? They are ready to kill. Because these people really are warriors. It's not that they want to kill, but they just want to protect themselves by killing. Because from time to time, they expect enemies. And so they are always prepared. And with us, Sulads teachers, we are preparing for that also. We know pretty well that we will be facing death. And so, to be a Sulads missionary, you are prepared to die. Then, during the seminar and training of the new batch of missionaries, we tell them all the discouraging things that they will encounter as a missionary up in the mountains. Most especially, one qualification to be a Sulads missionary is you are ready to die. During dedication ceremony, we have this oath taking. I, Darrell from Misaran, knows pretty well that joining Sulads will be walking on valleys of shadows of death. And as you have sent your own precious son on the cruel cross of Calvary to die for my stead, I too am ready to die, all for the gospel's sake in this missionary program. And so, each missionary taking their oath, we give each one a lancet to prick their thumb and squeeze the blood out and paint the blood on the thumb, and that becomes a thumbprint. So help me God. Ready to die if need be. That is the dedication of a Sulads mission.
We salute you for that, Sulads missionaries.
Oh.
Now, here is another interesting question that we want to know. How were you able to survive in the mountains?
Survive in what way, for example? Food or?
Food. Okay, sanitation, probably you can close your eyes and adapt yourself to that unsanitary environment. But what about food?
Food is so different from what we are used to. We have rice, we have everything from the department store, noodles or anything you want.
So you
can get. But to bring rice that far, we would hike for some 12, 13 long hours through dense jungle. And a 5-kilo rice will become so heavy after those long hours of hike. Not only that you will bring rice, you will bring some provisions, school materials, your clothes. And when you get to the village, when they know that you have rice, these mothers will line up and ask for some. And so your rice will just be finished in one sitting. Now, with food out there, we survive with seafoods. Whatever food we see in the forest, we eat.
So seafood.
Seafoods. Whatever food we see. So, there goes wild yam, wild fruit trees, leaves, roots. You have to adjust to the way of life, especially the food they eat. But interestingly, one time I was so hungry. I hiked for some 6 hours and reaching the village some 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Hungry for that, I shouted, "Mga Sulad, amanan bukas." I said, "I am so hungry, Sulad. Please, I need some food." A boy came with steaming hot potato, sweet potato. So I was so happy to have that, sweet potatoes, boiled sweet potatoes. That's their staple food. But when I ate, as hungry as I was, it was so yuck. It smells, I cannot just understand the smell. And so I just swallowed it because all curious eyes were on me. Because when I was ready to throw out, but when I spit it out, that would be an insult to them. And so I just forced it in. Terrible. And I went into the house and peeped into the kitchen, and there I saw where they got my sweet potato. In a kettle that was not washed for, this is maybe exaggeration or what, but that is how I can relate. I can describe. Maybe this was not washed since it was bought for some 10 years or so. And beside the sweet potato was a rat. Rat inside. And you know, these rats, whenever they get rats from their trap, they make some sort of fences, knee-high fences in the forest. And these are traps going to the trap. And when they get rats there, they would leave that for 3 days to rot. During decomposing stage of 3 days already, that is their best treat. And that was the smell of the sweet potato they gave me. They cooked it with the rat, rotten rat. This is something like terrible, but you should swallow that in. And this is, how do you say it? It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not food for humans.
It's yeah, but that is their food.
So they eat rats.
They eat rats, they eat snakes, frogs, name it. Anything they want to eat, they eat.
Okay, so how did you teach these people? How did you teach these people? How did you tell them, or how did you let them know that those are not food?
You cannot just easily say those are not food. Because that has been their food. And that's how they survive. That's how they live. And if you introduce the very food, to them it is not food. Like for example, we cook pasta, noodles, or spaghetti. That's so sweet. And they love the smell. But when we gave them, they started, why is this yak?
They don't want the smell.
They don't want the taste.
They don't want the taste.
Okay? And so, because they have tasted it already, you don't want to take that in. And so that was thrown away, wasted. Just like when you open a canned beans, for that matter, baked beans or that kind, they will not like the taste. They want to wash it white and eat the white beans, washed already. So, their taste buds is so different from our taste buds.
Because they're not used to that.
They are not used to it.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult.
So as days went by, were you able to let them know the right food to eat?
It takes a generation.
Oh, so you mean to say, when you left, they're still eating rats?
They still eating rats. Interestingly, during class time, you cannot just let them stay there when somebody is running after a rat. And they would go out and help catch rats because that is food.
You know, you cannot tell them what to do.
Yes.
Right? So seemingly, S.U.L.A.D.S missionaries there are teaching them how to live by showing how to live. Right. Now, how were you able to teach them literacy?
Literacy.
Because you said earlier that you have to teach them how to read.
Yes.
Yes. So how did you start?
Just showing them. What is your name? So your name spells this one. D-A-R-Y-L. And they love it. And when they go downtown, they can read anywhere. And they can start to appreciate education. You see? And they can understand what they read now. So, in this way, they will start loving the teacher and opening their eyes to the reality of life. And little by little, we are bringing them to the mainstream of society. Because when you don't teach them how to read and write, they remain as wild people out in the bush.
When you went there, have you seen a Bible in those?
Not really a Bible, just books of the New Testament.
I see.
Because a Bible consists of two big books, the Old and the New Testament. These are only book of Matthew, the Gospels.
So you've got to read also the Bible in Manobo.
Yes.
And that's how you will teach them. Okay. I also would like to know the strategies on how you teach Jesus, or how do you teach, or how do you really evangelize to these people?
This is included into the curriculum. As we stay there, immersed into them, we stay there for 1, 2, or 3 years. And our Sulads teachers stop schooling. Because 1 year is not enough. You have barely scratched the surface and 1 year is finished. It's not yet.
You have not touched
This desire, you have never come to the core of the very work you have.
Okay.
Now, in teaching them, we have this morning and evening worship.
So you sing songs?
We sing songs, we pray, we teach them how to pray, and we have these picture walls, we have Bible friends, Bible stories, and teach them story way. We just tell story after story from the picture walls, and they love it.
Are these children or
children
adults?
And adults come gathering in our evening and morning worship, and our worship would go as far as 2 hours or more, so long as they are still hungry to listen.
So you feel the work of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, that is it.
We cannot really explain how the Holy Spirit works in this. Despite that they have so many gods, they believe in so many spirits.
Yes.
Yes. But how would you reconcile their gods into only one God, who is God, the true God?
Miracles happen. Just like, for example, they have this God of the woods, God in the waters, God of the harvest, God of the rain. But we always point them to the only one God and living God, none other God but God, up there in the mountain.
Who is the creator of everything?
Who is the creator of everything? We just pray directly to Him, not with killing a pig or butcher a chicken and offer them as sacrifices. You see, you can still see altars made of sticks alongside the river or in the middle of a rice field. And when you pass there, you can smell the stinking, rotting carcass of pigs.
So they butcher, they do not eat.
They butcher and just put it there as sacrifice to the spirits. They don't eat them. And that is their way of thanking, appeasing the spirits, pleasing the spirits, thanking them for the good harvest. And so when they harvest, you will hear nothing of their noise because they respect the spirits.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, so you continue that day and night, and on Sabbath, do you do the same thing?
We do the same thing, from sunset to sunset.
Do they stay with you from sunset to sunset?
Yes.
Wow. Praise God for that. Now, since you stay there for 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, when you leave them, will there be other Sulads members to go and take your place to continue the work, or you just leave them like that?
We always have new set of missionaries to take the place. We will never leave the place unless we have another set to take the place. We continue our work there for some 30 long years, 30 years. Why? Because it would be too expensive to leave them after some 10 years and you have not reached the core or put up a church there and have church leaders, local church leaders to continue the work of the church.
So now it is already 43 years.
Yes.
Yes. And in every village, do you build a church?
Yes.
In every village.
Every village, there is a school and a church and a teacher's college.
So, does your center really go and monitor or see the progress?
Yes, we have cluster supervisors to go the rounds and check whether you have accomplished this, latrines, fences, school, church, what have you been doing, how many are receiving Bible studies, how many were baptized. But reports of baptism is not really the main thing. we don't mind numbers of baptism. What we are getting into our missionaries to do first is to maintain the literacy program so they can read for themselves the Holy Word. By doing so, there is no problem of baptism because they will be the ones, as they have copied from the lives of their teachers, read the Bible because they have learned to read and write and understand. And by doing so, they can themselves read the Bible and sustain them spiritually.
I have one question. The first time I saw you with your attire or with your outfit, it is really fascinating. I'm fascinated with what that is, and what is this that you are wearing?
This is an outfit of a village chief.
Chief, you mean the datu?
Yes.
Right.
This one is worn by just anybody, but this one is exclusively for the chief. I wear this because I was adopted as one chief. They call me Datu Bongit, which means talkative bird.
Datu Bongit.
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 B-O-W-N-G-I-T.
Oh, Bongit.
Bongit.
Which means talkative bird. So it means to say you are a noisy work and noisy missionary.
Yes, because when I was in the mission school, after school every afternoon, I would go visit from house to house and enjoy conversing with the old folks. That's where I learned to speak the language so easy. And whenever they dance, I dance with them, laugh with them. And wherever I go, there's noise. Well, laughter and dancing and whatnot. And so the chief said, maybe Sir Darrell is there. Noise there. There's noise there. And so, Bongit is a bird, is a name of a bird. So noisy wherever you are in the forest. You can tell that is Bongit.
So you are that.
So I was named Chief Talkative Bird.
Yeah, okay. Now, we have seen some of your pictures or presentations that they have no clothes. But this is such a wonderful outfit. So you mean anyone can wear this?
Anyone can wear this, but this is exclusively for the chief.
Okay. But for those people in the villages who are really like common people, they do not really wear this.
They wear this on special occasions.
Oh, only on special occasions. So
Yes.
each one has this.
Yes.
I see.
And ordinary days, they go naked. They go, especially the ladies who have been married already. They go topless.
So nothing.
Nothing.
But that is nothing to them.
That is nothing.
No malice.
No malice at all.
Okay. So these Sulads missionaries learn their way.
Learn their way also.
That's great. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Darrell. And before we will leave this place, would you like to say a message to the viewers?
Brothers and sisters, thank you for joining us in this program. You have heard so much of what our program is doing, reaching the far-flung areas, the jungle tribes back in the mountains of Mindanao, Philippines. We are asking for your prayers and especially for your love gifts. If you have something to give, then you can course it through Sulad's Thailand chapter. And the president is Sulad Dato Bagabaga in the person of Chloe Mantalapa. I do not know his phone number, but here is Sister Tess who can channel you or lead you to Brother Mantalapa for your love gifts. So our program back in the Philippines, especially in the jungle tribes, can continue on. We just pray to the Lord, touch hearts of donors who can give their all, because you too would want to be a missionary to join us in the front lines, but you are so busy here with your program, with your life here in Thailand. But through your love gifts, from your hearts, through your pocket, then we can send more Sulads teachers out into the groups to reach so many of these people for Jesus. Thank you so much.
Brother Darrell, how much do your center pay your missionaries?
This time, as donations dwindle, we give them 2,000 pesos each month.
2,000 pesos per month.
Per month, per person.
Per person. Can you imagine? How can these missionaries survive with 2,000 pesos per month?
And that is how much impact?
That is so like 1,700 something. Yes. So for our brothers and sisters living here in Thailand, our brother Chloe Mantalaba is a member of Ramkameng Advent International Church.
God bless you, brother, sister. Thank you.
Brethren, let's partake with this missionary work. Since we cannot go to the jungles, we can give our own support by giving what we have. Thank you very much, and good afternoon.